All right. Welcome back to the Your Next Anime podcast. I am your one third host, Eric. One of these days I'm going to actually have like a good intro.
You are just One Piece. You are
I
just
know,
a
like
One Piece.
before camera. Let's start it over. Okay. Welcome to the Your Next Anime podcast. My name's Eric. With me again are my partners in crime.
I'm Chris, the Katsuga King.
Mike. What's
All
up?
right.
That's better. That was better. That was better.
So if you guys have been following, last week we finished our episode on Failure Frame. We ended up saying it was highly recommended. We enjoyed it. And then so now we are on to the new anime that we're watching together, which is also available on Crunchyroll. A content warning, trigger warning. This is 16 and up, so viewer discretion is advised. It is Gleipnir. Gleipnir. I think, yeah, I have it right here. I spelled it right. So that is the anime,
weird
yeah,
name, for
that
sure.
we chose to watch. Selected by Chris. I want to point out this is
Not a lot of people know about it. It only has one season. It came out a while ago.
Way to
yeah,
protect
it's
yourself.
4
I
years
haven't heard
ago.
anybody else that has been talking about it.
No,
The animation is good, and that's
yeah,
how I'm going to start it.
the anime.
But viewer discretion is advised.
I will
Yeah,
commend the
sure.
action. I will definitely commend some of the action.
and you know
scenes in
what?
there.
It is actually a really good anime. It's just, you know,
You just gotta weed through a little bit. It's okay. If you love anime,
no.
we've all
Okay,
been through there.
So we're getting ahead of ourselves. All right. So if you're
Way
new
ahead of
here,
ourselves. We're making it sound way worse than what it actually is, okay, guys?
definitely not. And it's really not that bad.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
I mean, I've definitely seen worse animes for sure.
it's not redo of a healer. Like,
Yeah.
y'all guys are okay.
Well, I haven't seen that. So
Don't no.
okay. Well, then I won't. But anyways, it's a good anime. I'm enjoying it so far. I watched the first 5 episodes. I think today we're just going to cover the first 4, maybe the 5, depending on how much yapping we do. And then, yeah, I mean, depending on what the vibes are, you know, we'll come back next week and talk about the next 4 or 5 episodes. There's like 13 total, right?
Believe so.
Yeah, I think so.
13
Let's see.
episodes.
Yeah, 13 episodes. This is
Which is
an
also
odd one.
weird because normally there's like
12.
either like 12 or like 24.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah,
Or to
that
have
is
like
kind of
13,
weird.
that's
We get a bonus feature. Nice.
Bonus episode. But Mike, you were talking something about before we started recording how you thought it was funny. There's like a connection between this one and the last anime that we watched.
Well, yeah. So in the last anime, even in the last episode, we were talking about the horse Sleipnir, which was going to be the 8-hooved horse that used to ride or that was Odin's steed. Well, with Gleipnir, it actually falls into the same Norse mythology, which is pretty cool. And it also is Old Norse for the Entangled One or the Deceiver. Even cooler, Gleipnir actually was used to bind Fenrir, an apocalyptic wolf beast, until Ragnarok, the final battle, begins. So there are going to be some elements as we start this new show. Keep those things in mind because they actually are going to be pretty relevant as we go through this series.
That is really cool. And it was kind of like a unintended coincidence that they ended up kind of having those similarities.
It didn't even dawn on me, Chris.
Mhm.
When you first suggested it, I was just like, Gleipnir. It wasn't until like I Googled it, I was like, snap, we're still in the same box. That's what's up.
so it's a good transition from the last anime to this anime. You're welcome.
Pretty smooth. Pretty smooth.
But yeah,
smooth,
so
King.
for those who are unfamiliar with the plot of Gleipnir, a high school student, Shuichi Kaguya, receives the ability to transform into a giant monstrous dog. It resembles a mascot costume with a zipper on a back and a big smile on the front. He meets a normal girl in the same class, Claire Aoki, whose sister Elena was responsible for killing their parents. And then they find out
Stuff happened.
that she can actually climb in. So I'm gonna pull up. So just for a visual reference, I really want to show this image here
I will.
for
What image are you
everybody.
showing?
This is
Okay.
no. This is the
That's
cover for the show, right? So here's the main character. Here's Claire, the girl he meets in his class, and that's her sister Elena. And then this is the mascot that he turns into. And it's pretty crazy. And it's kind of funny how they did it in the first episode, because like the whole time they were hinting at like him like hiding a secret, and like not wanting anybody to know, and then he starts to transform and you think it's about to be like this epic thing, and then he just looks like a giant furry.
They did us dirty though, because when you watch that transformation, like, bro, he looks like he's about to be tough.
It's a tough
It looks
transformation,
like
like,
it's
and a
gonna
lot of the
be
fighting
tough.
scenes are real tough, and it just cracks me up because there's like this Chuck E. Cheese looking dude like
Yeah.
just boxing. This dude looks like he's the mascot for the Panthers or something. Like the yeah, it's hilarious.
So outside of the anime art, what did y'all guys think about the anime art? What would y'all want to say about that? I think it actually it it kind of looks like it's in the standard format. I do like that there are some parts where they visually enhance, like when we get to like the part of the sister, like how she transforms into a ghost or how she fades and comes back. I think they actually styled that pretty well. And I do like the illustrations of the manga itself. Like it looks pretty crisp on that aspect too.
Yeah, I do like the art style on it. It's a lot more clean than Failure Frame, I think, because it doesn't have any of those weird, awkward, like 3D modeling, parts
Nice
on
Mhm.
to
it.
nice to go
It
back. Yeah,
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 agree.
it's
just
nice to go
it
back to one of
traditional
those,
art
or I
style
guess you
definitely
would
look
you
like.
would say like classical like anime styles. So I do like the way that it's drawn out. The action is intense. I do like the action. Like you said, like it looks tough. Like the action's tough. The characters look tough, and it's just funny to see like this big bobble-headed like dog mascot running around punching stuff.
It's
But his punches
awesome.
are tough. Like
Those
Yeah.
they are some tough punches.
Yeah, so in the first episode is Something Inside of Me. We it starts off like real like staticky, almost like we're losing reception or something like that.
I
And
also like that
first
type of anime style too, like the
yeah,
staticky.
and it's
Haze.
like first person POV, and we see like this gold coin, and the whoever, is our point of view takes the gold coin to a vending machine and puts it in there and tries to like order something. Doesn't look like it works, and then turns back around, and there's a whole dude climbing out of the freaking vending machine,
Caught me off
and he
guard.
stands up and he's like, thanks for finding these coins. They mean a lot to me or whatever. Let me help you. And then that's kind of like, we see him kind of pop up a couple of times throughout the show, and these coins, and it seems to be that like whoever this guy is and wherever these coins came from have something to do with these people showing up with like abilities and being able to transform into these things, because the main character is not the only one. Shuichi's not the only one who could transform. We find out later in the next episode. But yeah, so that's the first episode, and then he meets Claire because she tries to commit suicide. Trigger warning. Sorry. Should have said that before I said commit suicide. But
I was wondering how you're gonna bring
I
it
was
up.
I was I was gonna approach that. But
She
yeah, she
flew
sets a
right
whole
into it.
building on fire.
She just
Uh
lays down inside it.
I
and
thought that
it's
was
just like,
pretty
let it
crazy.
take me, which amazing amount of resolve to just like sit there and be like, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just gonna sit
not
here
the
while
way
this
that I would choose
freaking
to go
house falls.
out.
So at any point in time, because with the suicide, I thought that was crazy. But at the beginning of the show, after the haziness, it does kind of pan to the main character, and we do see him. Did we ever see Claire as she's going through his day to day in the school? that was one thing I was curious about. I don't recall if I ever saw her or if we just meet her at that point.
No, there's this
No.
one girl with pink hair that keeps popping up.
Oh yeah, I do
But
recall
no,
her.
one thing that they did at one point, they did show a scene of Claire who trying to call somebody and like holding the gas can. And she was like in the building. She was like trying to call somebody and it went to voicemail. Or it's like your person cannot be reached or something like that. And then she kind of like drops the phone. And that's like before she sets the whole building on fire. So you do see that earlier
Some
in the episode.
foreshadowing. Okay.
Yeah, some like foreshadowing. But yeah, so
Can we talk about like the moment he saves her
Oh, bro.
quick for a second? Because that's like
We can rip the Band-Aid. We can rip the
well, not
Band-Aid.
that well, okay, with that part, but one, I think it's cool that like whenever he turns into the dog mascot, he has like dog abilities because he has like a heightened sense of smell and awareness.
I did notice
So that's
that.
how he knew Claire was like. That's how he knew that there was a burning building because he could smell the smoke like from like miles away. And he was like, "That's kind of close by. Let me go check it out."
yeah, miles away. Yeah, I was
Wasn't
like,
he
yeah,
hesitant
look
too?
close
He
to
didn't.
me.
That's what I was
wanna
thinking.
get
I was like, he was like,
involved.
"That's nearby." I was like, "That's like way over in the distance, dude. Like I can barely see the smoke."
Like a little
a hop
light on a
skip.
mountain in the background. Yeah, and he's like, that's
Yeah.
not that far.
Well, I guess like that's another thing. Since when he turns into like the dog thing, he can also like run fast and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
Well,
he
okay,
turns into
so
the dog thing to rescue her, and then he's like,
that's how he also smelled that she was in the
does
burning
he
building.
does he have natural like high speed abilities outside of that? Because when he smelled it and when he approached that burning building, he was still human. He didn't transform until he was like right outside of the burning building. So does that? I know he has a smell, but
right.
what
I
about
don't know
his
that
strength?
I don't know.
He
At
could have
least in the
transformed off
episodes that we
screen and then
watched.
transformed back into a human.
True. Kind of
Yeah.
kept it sneaky. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know that, at least in the episodes that we watched, I don't know that he's ever tried to do anything, with his speed or strength without transforming. Which,
It seems like he doesn't really like know his own strength yet.
yeah,
True.
but like in when he's transformed, he punched a hole through the wall
A
in
clean
that
hole.
burning building, which was crazy. And I was like half expecting it to like not work for some reason. I just thought it would be really funny if he was like, well, guess I just got to punch down this wall, and then just like it didn't work. And it's like, I don't know why I thought I would be able to do that. Like, but he does. He punches through the wall and then he picks her up and carries her out. There is a moment of weakness in him where he suddenly finds himself undressing her. And he catches himself very quickly, which props to my dog. I don't know, like, what
Good
got
fun.
in him to begin with, but at
He's a
least he
freshman.
caught himself and was just like, this isn't right. I'm out of here. And he left.
Little
But
did
Claire's
he
I
a
know.
think
freak.
it was like part of him being in the dog transformation because, like I said, it comes with like
The
Yeah,
one,
heightened
like
he's
the
a
smell.
smell and maybe
monster.
like an animalistic instinct.
Yeah.
That's what they keep saying too. They keep saying he's a monster. I'm a monster.
Little did he know
But he
that
stopped
that
himself
save
and he
was
took off.
gonna bring him a whole lot of grief too, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. So then he left his phone behind at the scene of the crime, right? So she
Rookie
tracks him
mistake.
down,
And how did he not notice that?
and they go to the same school. And she pulls like this crazy move where she's like, got your phone. I know what you did. Meet me on the rooftop or whatever if you want your phone back. And then he goes to meet her on the rooftop. And she's like, here, you can have it back. And then pushes him off the
Pushes him
roof.
off the roof.
Like a pure-blooded killer, bro.
I
Like,
get the
no
vibe
hesitation.
that this girl got nothing to lose. She was willing to end her life. She's like, "What? I'm willing to end my life. What do you think I'm going to do to you?"
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, man, that's like if like he couldn't transform on command, or like that wasn't like a way to make him transform, or like he just couldn't transform at all. She got it wrong altogether. And she just pushed him off the roof, and this is cool. But he does transform. And then they end up, I guess, becoming like partners in a way. She's like, you got to do whatever I say now because
It was
I'll
more.
tell
It
everybody.
was like
She took
a
pictures.
I'll tell
hostage
everybody.
situation turned partnership is what it felt
Yeah.
like, kind of. Because you're blackmailing
It's a
them.
situationship in the
A
beginning for sure.
situationship got severe.
Mhm.
And that's
But
when she reveals that she has a coin too.
Yeah. She has a coin and she's like, I need your help to like find my sister or something like that.
Well, she wanted to. If I were, she
say?
wanted information on the coin, and she thought that since he was the monster, that he just automatically knew that what that coin represented. And
Right.
when he didn't know, it was like, okay, that now we're gonna have to figure out together. Because if you don't know why you're a monster, and I'm walking around with this coin, like
I do feel like she is definitely using him in
mhm.
more than one way because we find out how she can like physically use him too.
Yeah.
Right. So they get a visitor from some random person shows up on the balcony of her apartment, right? And Shuichi's like, do you know her?
It was
She's
a
like,
it was
"No."
a good question.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, people don't just show up on the balcony of my like
It's like,
apartment.
hey,
like,
yo,
Of
some
your
my
shit's
10th
here
close,
for
floor
you.
apartment.
yeah, all my
like,
close friends come on the balcony. I only strangers come through the front door. But that person just lets themselves in and then starts fighting them and busts out a knife and is like apparently trying to take the coin from them. And then when Shuichi transforms into
Poor
his
guy.
mascot form, then we find out that the person fighting them, Elena? Or no, that's not her. I can't remember what her name was.
Elena's the sister. If I
Elena's the sister, right? But
I don't
she can
remember what this
transform
girl-
too.
Yep, she's a monster as well, but in a different way. She doesn't transform into a mascot. She is able to transform like her legs and her arms into like these like
Oshikawa.
demon form looking enhancements that make her run faster,
Yeah.
punch harder.
Her name was Hikawa,
Okay.
and she apparently
She used the coin.
Yeah, she had used the coin, but
Do
it
you
just
have a
didn't give her
image
the
of her?
results she wanted.
And try to find one.
We only
She
got like
used the
two.
coin herself because she was
We only
apparently
got-
like a track athlete that was not performing,
Mhm.
and she used the coin, and that's why her limbs like were able to transform to make her faster.
These coins are very reminiscent of like a genie's lamp, where you get what you wish for, but you just don't know what form of that wish is going to come in, or a monkey's paw. That could be the same too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's like the same concept. It's always, be careful what you wish for type thing. Like, you got to be specific or
It makes
something
me
like
wonder
that.
why would wish this guy had to become a mascot.
Well,
He also doesn't have memory of using a coin.
He
yeah.
doesn't.
Well,
And I thought that was interesting too.
I thought it was interesting where, so we'll get to that later then because what's her name shows up. They start fighting. Shuichi grabs Claire and leaves. And then they're like hiding out in some like train car warehouse area or whatever. And he's like freaking out. And he's like, he doesn't know what he's going to do. And Claire's like, yo, I just noticed you have a zipper on your bag. And he's like, what? And she's like, yeah, you ever tried like opening it up? Like, see what's inside? Like, what if I'm supposed to go inside of you? And it gets really creepy the way that she describes inserting herself into Shuichi. But yeah, I mean, so up until now, you can kind of assume that, you saw the transformation, but you could kind of assume that he's still in there somewhere, like underneath the mascot or something.
I always
like
thought like he was like in the mascot costume himself.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then she unzips him, and it's just completely empty,
but it
and
looks
very
all
fleshy. Very fleshy,
Very
and according to
fleshy.
Claire, very slimy.
Slimy and fleshy.
And she
Emptiness.
proceeds to let herself in. And here's like a picture from the
I was a little worried too because I was like, if he's just a mascot and she unzips him, like, are his guts
From the
gonna like spill
manga.
out?
Seriously.
She could have unintentionally killed him.
I also thought it was pretty cool. Yeah.
So here's
There
like
it
an
is,
image.
yeah.
You can kind of see like
Such
how
a
it's
cool
all
image.
fleshy on the side, and then like the zipper, right? So then she climbs in, and he's empty on the inside.
It's crazy though, because when you watch this episode, when she first puts her foot in, like you see the foot go through Suichi's body,
Like he can like
and
feel it.
yeah, and it's kind of like, in a sense, you really are watching somebody go into someone else's
It's a
skin.
little sensual.
It's so crazy, and I'm
It
like, oh
was
my gosh.
it was pretty crazy, but not only can she go inside, but she can actually control Shuichi from the inside. And then
Mhm.
so when that other monster chick catches up with them, they get into a fight, and Claire basically takes over and whoops that girl's ass.
Yeah, I just
Like
KOs her.
bad.
Just
And this is
like
where, that part is very pivotal, because we see two things. One, we see the sheer amount of resolve that Claire has in her mission. And then also we see, just how innocent and how much love and heart Suichi has. There was a big conflict of interest with the that girl Hikawa being offed or being beat, because yeah, she got beat up, but he also pulled out his Looney Tunes gun and put a hole in her back and
yep.
Yep.
ended her.
Which he was saying, "Yo, don't do that. Like
Don't
we don't have
do
to
it,
kill
but he
her."
had no
And
control.
she was just like, boom, like, "Hey, yo, I was gonna kill myself. I was gonna kill you. And what makes you think I'm not gonna kill somebody that was just trying to kill me?"
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yo,
So
and
killed her. Like
one thing that
I
we
was
also learn when Claire gets in, gets inside of Shuichi is that they can also kind of like feel each other's emotions. Like they like mind meld in a way where he
they
was also getting
become
like
one.
images of like her memories
Mm-hmm.
and like was like talking about like her pain. And she was like, that's not me. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, like trying to deny it, like trying to like basically say, like, push back all those feelings because like she's so dedicated in her mission and to finding her sister and figuring out what happened. Because we come to find out her sister is also a monster and is responsible for killing her parents. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why she's so like interested in Shuichi. Apparently her suicide attempt was because she knew that monsters were real and knew that they were responsible for killing her parents, but nobody believed her. And so nobody was willing to help her figure out what happened. And then
Mm-hmm.
Shuichi came, not only saved her, but also was like the living proof that she was looking for that these monsters were real. Yeah. The biggest lead that she's been on since she found the coin.
Yeah, I still do feel bad for Suits because like how would it make you feel to like you? I mean, she killed that other girl, but like it was still his hands. It was
Yeah,
still
she made him
his
pull the
body.
trigger.
Like
Yeah.
his body pulled the trigger. Like how does that make you feel? You know what I mean?
And he was already kind of freaking out. So the whole show, first episode starts off with like they're getting their college recommendations and he got it and turned it down because he was freaking out about this whole transformation thing that had just happened to him. And he was like, I'm just trying to like live a normal life. And he's like, in the less stress that I have in my life, like the less likely that I'm going to turn into this thing,
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why he was like, so he was already kind of freaking out about like who he was and what was happening to him. And then not even 24 hours later, Claire's inside of him making him kill somebody. Like
It's a lot. So it's a
the
lot.
mental roller coaster that dude is going on is crazy
Mm-hmm.
in just the first two episodes.
And all he wanted to do was just save somebody.
He just wanted to be a good guy.
Mm-hmm. So,
And then also, what I thought was a little funny when she was getting out, and she was like,
bro,
got a little excited. I pissed myself while I was in there. And she was like, I was just kidding. But
She was
What's
like,
the
that
name?
was a joke. But he's like still like that was literally seconds after like the fight ended and they
He just killed
killed that
somebody.
girl. And then so she climbs out and she's like, what she said?
Was
I
it
got
too
a little
early?
freaked out in there and pissed myself. while I was inside there. Man.
Just
And he does not
crazy.
laugh or say anything.
Neither would I.
I don't think I would either, man. Like, you made
You
me
don't
kill
think?
somebody and you are killing me? I don't know about all this.
No, that's so crazy.
Like, I don't know, man.
It's worse because you didn't get pissed on. You got pissed in.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
But it was a joke. She didn't actually do that. So
Yeah. She didn't do it. And then she goes to tell Shuichi about like her sister being a monster. And we kind of get a glimpse of like the past where like Elena, Claire's sister, and Shuichi actually like knew each other. They went to like school together or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a little bit of a connection there. And then in episode 3, Shuichi's like trying to help Claire find her by using his like super smell to track down Elena, and they track her down and she sees him like in the costume, right? She sees him transformed. Claire goes to shoot her own sister, right? And Shuichi's like, wait, no, don't do it. But then Claire immediately, or Elena just starts apologizing to Shuichi. Like, I'm sorry, you're in this position because of me. You transformed because of me. She keeps saying that.
Mm-hmm.
And she transforms into a ghost, and she's like, she keeps going back and forth between being like super apologetic to Shuichi and then just being like over the top, like, I'm ready to kill you at a moment's notice.
I think that's one thing that I'm intrigued about currently. And this was actually, for me personally, the upswing of this show. Going through the first 2 episodes, it just felt very textbook. But once we get that like climatic meetup of Elena and Claire and Suichi,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have to kind of just unpack a bunch of emotions because it gets confusing because I know in that scene I don't understand the relationship between Elena and Suichi. Like, does she love him? Does he know that she loves him? Like,
Yeah,
it was so off. It was weird.
it feels like
it almost kind of, go ahead.
he has like amnesia or something because he has memories that he doesn't have right now. Like
Yeah.
there's things that he doesn't remember because she's saying that it's his fault that he transformed. He doesn't remember how he transformed. He doesn't even remember a whole lot about Elena. Like he remembers he went to
Uh-huh.
school with her, but
Uh-huh.
she is acting like they have some sort of relationship. Like they've
Uh-huh.
had conversations that he cannot remember.
Yeah. And Elena was actually willing to let Shuichi kill her
Yeah.
at first. Because she was like, I'm so sorry. She's like, you have every right to be upset with me. It's my fault that you're in this or whatever. She's like, I get it. If you want to kill me, go ahead or whatever. And like, Shuichi's like, what's going on? Like, this is such a sweet girl. Like, she couldn't possibly have like killed Claire's parents or whatever. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't want to do anything to her. And
And then Claire starts to talk.
Claire starts
And
talking from inside the
man, it
suit.
goes left.
Yeah, then
And Elena flips out.
the switch
She's like,
flips, and she's like,
you
"Is that
got
a
another
woman's voice
woman
coming from in
inside
there?"
you. Which
Jealous
again, pause.
girlfriend
Cause
comes
that
out.
sounds crazy to say when you say it out loud. Like, like, yeah, she got so tilted just finding out that there's another girl in him.
In him, yeah.
Pause.
And she rips his head off.
Yep.
She rips his head off. And
And
she
I'm
goes
like,
ghost
I'm a little
form.
worried because like when she rips his head off, I'm like, do both their heads come off? Is he dead?
Bro,
Are they
when I saw
both
the
dead?
nub, I was like, oh, she's dead.
Yeah. As soon as the head come off, I was like, she dead.
But the amount of power that it took to rip his head off, because I mean, that other girl, the Hikawa girl, I mean, in the beginning was beating him up. I
Well,
mean,
yeah, she was
straight
like about to pop
fisticuffs.
his eye with her foot
Yes,
claws.
yes, like he was getting, and then even in the what is it, the train, what is it, cemetery? I'm gonna call it a cemetery because I don't
It
remember
was like
none of them.
it was like a storage shipyard or
Yeah, or
Oh, yeah. Like
a
a dock.
storage unit. There you go, a
It's like a
storage
shipping
dock.
dock.
But I mean, he took some heavy blows in there too. Actually, I'm impressed because not only did he take the blows, but Claire also took the blows, hypothetically speaking, and they both ate them up and still came back.
Yeah.
But Elena ripping his head off in one clean motion was just not what I expected.
Yeah, but she is pretty intimidating when she transforms into her monster ghost form, because she can just like
True.
disappear and reappear, and that's it.
This
That's what it
thing right
looks like.
here, dude.
That's
That's super
terrifying.
creepy.
Like, imagine that, just like,
Like, this is what she looks normally, and then she just like turns into this thing.
yeah, that has the strength to rip off that thing's head.
Mhm.
And so she rips off his head, and you realize it only rips off the mascot's head, and Claire's head just like pokes out.
Yeah.
But at this point, I think the mascot's dead. I'm like, dang, he's dead.
Yeah.
Like,
his head is
yeah,
off.
his head's gone. Like, I don't know how you can come back from that.
But that's when Elena realizes it's Claire and gives Claire another coin and dips.
Yeah, she's like, "Do you still have that coin I gave you?" And she's like, "No, I gave it away."
I
Or
I
threw it away.
honestly felt bad in that moment, or at least that particular scene, because wasn't it just like gut wrenching to like they painted to where the sisters meet each other.
Mhm.
Elena is elated to see Suichi, but when she sees Claire, she does not care. Like, couldn't care
Mhm.
less. Like, it just was like, oh, it's you. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
not only did I kill your parents, but like, it's you.
Yeah, and then she even like was like smiling or like laughing about like killing them, or was like happy about like killing her parents or whatever.
She said, she was like, I killed them for you.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she's
She
like, "You
pulled
don't
an
remember how
Itachi.
they treated us or whatever?" And Claire's like, she goes to shoot her or something, right?
Yeah, and then she gets beat up some more. I thought she got like punched into the air and is left to like
Yep.
just straight fall.
Gets launched up.
Free fall that. Well, again, props to the body for keeping her alive after such a plummet.
Yeah. And I also wasn't expecting that, because like, you in the beginning you hear like about, okay, the goal is to find Claire's sister
Mm-hmm.
and get revenge. So I feel like, okay, that's gonna be like the end goal. Like, that's what we're gonna be working up to. And then you find her in like that next episode.
3
Yeah, it
episodes
was
in.
pretty
I was like,
quick.
oh dang, well, there she is. And then you realize that you can't beat her, so you're like, well, now what?
Yeah. But one thing that we didn't talk about earlier was that other girl that they were fighting in the apartment, the track star,
Hikawa.
she said something about gatherers. Like, are you gatherers too? And we don't really hear anything about it anymore until like later, in the fourth episode, after the whole fight with Elena goes down. But after the fight with Elena goes down and she leaves Claire, and we still think like Shuichi's dead because his head got ripped off, Claire points the gun at herself. Man, these people are just like, man, they're not killing each other, they're killing themselves. It's crazy.
She was
Well,
serious
Claire was
about that
keeping her
pact.
promise, because
Yeah.
Claire basically said earlier on in the anime that we didn't say, that she was like, well, if you're gonna help me, then I'm gonna promise you that like you won't die alone. Like, I'll die with you. I'll put my life on the line with your life. And so
Yeah.
since she thought he was dead, the head was ripped off. She was just like, well, you're dead. Like, I told you I'd die with you. So
Yeah, so she was true. She was just being a real one. But then Shuichi was like, "Don't do it. I'm still alive."
the head was talking.
The head started talking.
Very nice moment, especially because that's where you kind of see the relationship like evolve finally from
The
like
barriers starting to fall between them. Yeah.
yeah. I was
You
like, oh
start
my
to see
gosh.
that she actually like it cares about him, and it's not just using him. Even though she absolutely is using him, she actually cares about him too as like a person. Oh yeah, so they find out that he's still alive. So he stays in his mascot form, and she takes the coin that her sister gave her to the new to that vending machine that we saw in the first episode. That everybody keeps talking about these vending machines. We see throughout like all the previous episodes, they keep referring to these vending machines and these coins. And so they use the coin on the vending machine, and this guy comes out who's only referred to as alien. Like that's pretty sure. Yeah, even in like the anime wiki, his name is just
It's just
Alien.
alien.
We find out he's an alien. His name
What-
is Alien.
Wasn't expecting that. Again, you could have taken 1,000 avenues, man. Like, he could have been just a monster, genetics, you
alien.
know what I mean? But
This is him, right? Right here.
look at that.
And
Actually looks pretty cool. Has that chill
yeah.
guy vibe going on.
And yeah, I'm still haven't gotten like a read on him either. Like he does give like really chill guy vibes, and kind of like a like thanks for finding my coins for me or whatever.
He's very nonchalant.
Yeah, and it's like doesn't really say like what these coins are for, where they came from, why he needs help finding them, what the point of the vending machine is. But one thing that he does say is that he can use the coin to fix Shuichi's neck. That he can reattach his head to his body, but he needs the coin. So he puts the coin into the vending machine, and then a drink comes out, and he tells Shuichi to drink it, and then he's like, and then just hold on to your head and don't move because it's gonna
Don't tilt
reattach
it.
itself.
Don't tilt it wrong,
Yep,
or
he
you
said,
see
hold
it
on to it
weird.
tight.
Yeah, and he tells him, he's like, if you had gone back to your human form like that, you would have died
Instantly.
He would have been in 2 different pieces and dead.
2 different pieces. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But then he reveals information about the Gather.
Yes. Yes, he starts
That's when we
talking about
find
the
out
Gather.
more about the coins and everything.
Uh-huh.
That yes, he is an alien, and he's taken the form of the highest like living life forms on the planet, which are humans. And his ship crash landed, and all of his people are basically those coins, and he has to
Right.
find them all. But
Right.
technology is useless to locate the coins. Only living organisms can perceive them. So he needs the assistance of humans to find all of his comrades.
Yeah, I think at one point, like he holds up a coin to like a camera, like a phone or something, and you can see like when he puts the camera over it, like the coin just goes invisible, and you just see his hand, and then he
Yes.
moves the phone over, and then you can see it like that.
I think
So
it was
yeah,
like
it's
in the earlier episodes, if I recall, that he does that. But no, the coin thing was very interesting, or even just transporting people in the form of data. I thought that was a very interesting concept for interstellar travel and saving energy in the
Yeah.
long run. Though it makes me wonder, was he the pilot of the ship? Because if the coins went down and he's the only one looking for everybody, that means that everyone else was stored and there was someone manning something, you know?
yeah. Maybe he was. Maybe he was like the caretaker or something. He
Could've
was
been.
responsible for making sure the ship didn't crash. Bad
Which it
job,
did.
by the way. Yeah.
I mean, so would y'all
And no
guys want to
one's
be a
located
coin?
the crash ship yet either.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, and then he talks about how if you get coins, he can give you powers to help you get the rest of the coins.
Uh-huh.
And that's when the gatherers come into play. So there's more monsters out there that have found coins to get powers.
Mm-hmm.
And he says if you can collect 100 coins, you get the ultimate reward.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I got into it. That's when I'm like, oh, yeah, dude. So now we got to go look for the crash site. We got to find 100 coins. I'm going to get an ultimate
Now
reward.
I see why
There's
you
other
wanted to watch this
gatherers
anime.
involved.
Power scaling
Other
over
This
power,
is a
other monsters with
tournament.
power. It's a
This
tournament.
is a tournament. Oh
This
my
is a tournament.
God.
I'm in it.
I
We
got
got-
tricked.
We got
Again.
roped. We got-
Gotcha. It's a
We got
tournament.
roped in.
It's a
We got
tournament.
roped into another tournament. This isn't even a dart tournament. This is the forest tournament. Like, Jesus Christ.
This is the forest tournament. Stage 1, find 100 coins
Stage
before the rest of the
one,
combatants.
It all just clicked into place right now.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
what is Chris like this show?
It's a tournament.
There's a game afoot. There's a competition
There's a
with power.
game of what?
I love it, dude. I
Oh
love
my
it.
God.
Yeah.
I love
well,
a good
yeah.
competition.
I sense a common theme going on. I love this.
Yeah, and that's when I got hooked because you're right. We were right, Mike. Like The first few episodes, I was like, oh, this is weird. I don't know if I like this, but I like the anime style, so I'm gonna give like the action anime style. So I'm gonna give it a couple more episodes, and then that happened, and I was like, I'm in.
I
I'm
just
interested.
I
I
love
want to
the
see these other
split
powers.
because it's like I totally got locked in on the plot of seeing Elena, and then you totally lock in on the plot of a tournament.
Got to get them 100
We-
coins.
You know, we found what kept us going. Oh my gosh. What else did the alien say? Because the alien actually gave up quite a bunch of useful information outside of the location of it.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say you told him the location, like the general area of where the
Yeah.
crash site should be, which is that mountain forest area.
There we go. I wanted to reference him and his obsession with anime and comic books now that he has become a human and started consuming human media. I think that was really
he had like a
interesting.
pile of manga,
A
like
lot
next
of
to a
manga.
mattress.
Like homeboy was sleeping on it. It was crazy.
Yeah, he's like, I like all forms of human media, but just can't get away from the manga.
Can't get away from it. He also reveals
understand.
himself to have the ability to change into whatever he wants.
Yeah, he changed into Claire.
Yeah,
He did.
He
He took-
Without
stole a
clothes
strand
on.
of her hair.
Yeah,
Crap, you're right.
Also,
I wasn't trying to
trigger
but he
warning.
was wearing clothes
trigger warning. I wasn't trying to go there. I was
when he transformed into her, but then the clothes disappeared, and for some reason he didn't transform in any new clothes when he transformed into her. But then
that begs the question: like, are the clothes also like organic material? Because he can like it like transforms with him.
exactly. He
Is
had
it just all
options.
organic material? It just looks like clothes. He's really just like
It's like
naked.
like an extra layer of skin. You know what I mean? Like layer,
Yes.
like
I
a
don't know.
super thin layer of skin that he just wears.
The wiki says the crash of his spaceship and scattering of his friends is contradicted by his own statements, as there is no plausible way for him to have piloted or controlled his spaceship if he had no physical form. So the real reason for him being on Earth remains a mystery.
I'm so glad. See, I'm just saying, a little skeptical.
But that's also what he said. Well, that's also what they said too. They're like, I don't know if I fully trust what this guy. Everything this guy said is true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense if like he was a coin too, you
Like,
know. And
how do you know all this?
and then if
sir?
you don't need a pilot because it's on autopilot, then how did it crash? You
And where
know, and then how come everybody else is still in their coin form, but you're not?
13 episodes, guys. Like
So
some
many
things will be
questions.
revealed because
so many questions.
it gets layered like an onion. You love it.
So many questions. I'm starting to realize I didn't watch the 5th episode. I stopped on the 4th one. I thought I did.
The 5th episode, I was hoping
was-
that you would have watched it because that's when
Did it,
we
yeah.
start seeing like
That's when they go to the forest.
That's
when
when
Yeah.
they
the
go into the
gatherers
forest.
are.
They get all prepped up, backpack full of supplies, and they're like, "We're gonna go find these coins in the forest, the Viridian Forest."
and I'm not gonna ruin anything for you because you haven't seen it, but the concept for the other monsters that they will run into, they are actually really cool looking. Like I mean, like
Some of them are.
yeah, like because I'm not the you get thrown off with the mascot, but episode 5 makes you a believer that there's some pretty cool stuff out there in that forest.
There are some pretty cool looking ones. I'll give
Yeah,
you that
like
later on that you'll we run into.
I
But
mean,
also
even-
like that's the one thing that I thought was also weird. It's everything looks different. Like it's not everyone looks different. Everybody has different powers. Like the
There's not
ghost
like a
looks completely
theme
different
or
from the
something.
mascot. Looks completely different from the other one that only could transform their arms and legs. They all
Yeah.
look different.
Elena too. She turns into that ghost thing.
Do you think that the coins that they get are like inherent traits of how they transform? I do recall Alien saying in episode 4 somewhere that like when he gives them a coin, he gives them what their greatest desires are. Like that's where their powers manifest from. But then when you look at some of the monsters in the forest as they appear, they're like How did you manifest that? Hold on, pause. This is a little crazy.
I'm trying to figure out how Shuichi transformed
Well,
And
okay,
why a mascot?
and
So-
Like,
why a
does he want to
mascot.
have like a connection
And
with
the-
somebody? Does he
And
want to
the
become
mascot
one with somebody?
existed in real life before his transformation. That
Mhm.
was part of that flashback.
Yeah,
Like,
Elena had a keychain of it.
this was like a character. Yeah, like this was like an action. This isn't just like some, original character.
Could Elena, like, okay, so if I found a coin, could I take the coin to the vending machine and instead of me choosing to get the powers, can I be like, hey, yo, can you transform
well,
Eric
yeah,
instead of me?
well, that's what she did. I believe it's at the beginning of episode 4. She takes the coin and she's asking the alien, like, okay, so what about these wishes? And he gives like a brief explanation of the wishes. But then she says, okay, but what if I wanted to make a wish, but for somebody else? And he's like, oh, that's interesting. No one's ever presented that to me before. And
He
that's
says that
where
in
I thought,
episode 4. I
yeah,
don't remember that.
I remember that.
so I thought it was implied that she made him, or she used the wish on him to become a monster, but it was up to Suichi. Like whatever Suichi's heart desired or what he thought what power was, that's how he transformed into that mascot.
He always wanted to be the
So
mascot.
in the very beginning of the anime, where it has like all like the staticky,
Mm-hmm.
somebody coming out, putting the coin in, and him coming out of the vending machine, who was that? Was
I
that
thought-
Suichi? Was that
I
I
thought
think that
Elena?
was Elena because it almost is reminiscent of her as a ghost when she walks
So
around
was that
with it.
after she already became the ghost, and then so she used the vending machine again to transform Shuichi, or
Mhm. That's what I'm thinking. I
Hopefully
think
we
that she
find out
found
later.
2 coins
yeah.
and
I
went
mean,
on
there's
that.
just a lot. There's a lot. I feel like this show was really fast paced too. Like, and it definitely threw you for a loop with that whole Elena thing. Like, it
Mhm.
definitely made it seem like they were gonna go on a hunt for Elena and like really investigate. And it was like a montage later. It was like same episode. Oh, we found her, and she's
And
not
she wasn't
really
even
interested
hiding.
in us. Yeah, she wasn't even hiding.
She wasn't.
She's not interested in us, so she's not going to be of any help. And she's way stronger than we are, and we have no way of killing her because she's a ghost.
Mhm.
So we're better off finding out, going to the source, which they went to go talk to Alien about. And then there's something about him like saying that he'll destroy the planet too.
Yes. And that's why I brought up him being obsessed with the comic books and the manga, because somewhere along the lines of him realizing that he could give wishes to people, he also realized that he's kind of like that entity, that deity that could
That guy.
really kill everybody if he so wanted to. Like it's a trivial matter to him, unlike for other people where it could be an endeavor.
That's so crazy. Like, imagine being like stumbling upon an ant pile where like the ants are just as strong as ants, but you're as strong as like a life-size human. You know, you
That'd be
just like
crazy.
Communicate with
showing
the
up.
ant.
Yeah, and then you're like, I didn't even know like y'all existed, but like where I'm from, like I'm I'm pretty normal, but around y'all, I can crush y'all beneath my feet.
Y'all got that nectar? Yeah, that's some pretty cool stuff. Where I'm from, we don't got nectar like that.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know, man. I'm really excited. It was definitely, I know we kind of joked at the beginning. It's really not that wild and out there. It's a little sexualized in the first like 2 episodes, but then like 3 and 4 like really don't
They
do
start
that
focusing on the plot.
any more than any
Yeah.
other anime, right? Any more than any other anime
We'll start
does.
focusing on the tournament.
Yeah.
on the
So that's what I'm
tournament.
excited for. So episode 5 is where that starts. And then so, we said there was 13 episodes. So we talked about 4 today. I don't know, 5 through 9 again, and then 10 through 13. Do another 3-episode run of this anime.
I was
Sounds pretty good to me. I'm excited to see where this goes. that first episode really threw me for a loop. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, what am I getting myself into? But as the story started to develop and as like some of these questions were being answered, but raising more questions, I just really want to know, like, what's this guy's deal? You know, and what are these coins deal? And I want to see these gatherers. I want to see more from these gatherers.
I
I want to
I
see
am
more of the different monsters and different powers that each of them have.
I am excited for the different monsters. I'm definitely excited for that. I want to know more about Alien. I want to know how he ended up on Earth. And ultimately, I just want to know what his goal is. Like, yes, he's saying that he wants to get everyone back that are in the form of coins, but still, at the same time, I feel like there's some underlying ulterior motives that we're not aware of yet. Like, I feel like it's
He
gonna
just
get
seems like
deeper.
too nice of a guy, and it's
Yes,
There's
like,
something
yeah,
there.
and I give you these powers, right? And he makes him seem so harmless, but then like also the powers are like not cool, like and kind of like you said, like monkey's paw style, where it's like, yeah, I get to transform into like this like big strong dude, but I'm like a furry mascot, and people can climb inside of me and control me if they wanted to.
I mean,
You know,
you would think that being an alien with all this technology, if someone wanted to wish for stronger arms and legs, like say Hikawa for the Olympics, he probably could have done that without giving her like malformed
monster feet.
claws. Yeah,
Yeah,
monster claws and feet. Like you feel like you could have just
she
omitted
like
that part.
absorbed her shoes too. Like her
Yeah.
like shoes turned into her like feet claws. I'm
Could you
like, what
imagine
the
the
heck?
cost of new shoes every time you clawed out? Like, oh my gosh, man, not another pair of Nikes.
Or do the shoes just go back to normal?
Did
Mm,
did it just become organic material too?
I
Just
think they do.
transform with your
gosh,
feet.
absorbs
He's like,
it.
"What? You don't like the feet claws?
You don't like the feet claws? Come
I thought
on.
they were pretty
Come on, man. Come
cool.
on, girl, with the shoelaces.
Look, I
Imagine how
gotta
much
be red
money
and
you can
black.
make with
Like
some
that's your
pics of those
colors.
online. Those
Like,
feet claws.
bro, you can't find this on Amazon. Like, come on, man.
You got a very niche clientele.
Did you guys watch it in dub or sub?
That's a
Good
good
question.
question.
When I first watched it, I watched the sub. This time around, watching it again, I'm watching it dub.
I watched maybe 10 minutes of it in sub, and I was like, you know what? Let's hear what the dub was. And the voice acting is not saying that the sub's voice acting was terrible or anything like that. I was just curious. In the dub, they had emotion. I liked it. You could tell that they weren't just reading a script and just trying to get on with their day. So
Yeah.
I actually stuck with the dub, and I'm going to continue that all the way through.
You know me, I already said before, I'm a big dub watcher if I can. It's my ADHD makes it hard to read subtitles. But I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. What do you think, Chris? You saw the whole thing, both.
I like the dub. I like the dub. Like Mike said, like there's a good emotions. The voice actors are great. They have great
Claire
acting
sounds
abilities.
familiar. I feel like I've heard her voice before. Do we know
Quite possibly.
who
Also,
her English?
Brittany
the
Karbowski.
is there anything else that she's done that maybe we know?
Rimuru Tempest?
There it
Yeah,
is.
no, that's
There it
exactly
is.
the first thing I saw. Oh, no
That's
what we know.
wonder.
it. She's Rimuru
No
Tempest. That's why
Yeah,
she
I've heard
wonder.
sounds so
I've
familiar.
heard this voice
I was
before.
like, bro, especially season 3 just ended of what is it, reincarnated as a slime. So yeah, no, her voice is fresh in my
There it
mind.
is.
That is
Yep.
crazy. Yeah, that was like the first one that I saw. She's also Wendy in Fairy Tale, Cammy in My Hero Academia,
Oh, wow.
or Kami.
Okay. And My Hero. Even another cool thing, just looking at it, she was born in Sugarland, Texas. So she is a Texan.
Hey, Texas.
Represent.
Texan VA,
Represent
dude.
deep
That
in
is
the
what's up.
heart of Texas.
She was in Claymore.
Ooh,
She
Claymore.
did a voice in
Who
Claymore.
was she in Claymore?
That's another one we were
That's
thinking about
cool.
watching too.
Yes.
That is. That's a pretty cool anime too. She was also in Soul Eater.
Oh wow, she's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she does work.
I
She does
am
work.
I am baffled at all of her appearances. Like, that's crazy. I didn't anticipate that. I'm genuinely shocked. That's cool.
Rimuru Tempest was a big one. That one was crazy.
Yeah, man.
I was not expecting that.
Can we go back to the very beginning though, because we didn't touch on this yet with the
What's up?
intro song? Like, how do y'all feel about it? Because personally, I'm digging it, and there's a specific part in it that like the tempo changes, and it's stuck in my head.
So, I'm glad that that we're talking about it. I have yet to come around to the intro, but me personally, I'm really liking the outro. Like, I feel like
Really? See, mine's the
yes,
opposite. I really like the intro, but the outro to me is just kind of like, eh.
the outro. Like,
I like the
I don't
intro.
know. There's something about it, like that low tempo kind of drum that it starts off with. It I don't know. It hits me. The intro. I'm I'm warming up to it. I am warming up to it. I like the animations in the intro, and I like the foreshadowing that it gives, especially with some of the monsters that we're gonna see in the future. I was like, okay, it's gonna be hype. But yeah, no, I'm slowly getting there, but I don't know if it's gonna make it. That outro though, no, that can stay. Like, that's in the cut.
Eric, you're our music buff. What do you think about the intro and outro?
I skipped the outro.
That's crazy.
I
He
skipped
said,
it.
I don't even care. The
He's like, I
episode's
don't even
done.
I was
know
like,
about
this is
no
too.
outro.
Episode's done. I got to get to the next. He said,
This
outro
is-
is out.
Yeah,
Bro.
and to be
Skip.
honest, I do that a lot. Like, there very few animes I will actually sit there and watch like the outro. Mashle is one of them. I like the Mashle outro. I watched that one.
The
Jujutsu
mashup
Kaisen.
intro. The
Yeah,
creepy
that's
Mashle
very
intro's tight. Yeah, hell yeah. And then,
Okay.
but the intro for this anime, I purposefully, like, when I watched the first 2 episodes, I purposely did not skip the intro. The first time was because I wanted to hear it. The second time was because I liked it. So then now I've been skipping the outro on each of these episodes, but I let the intro run. Damn, that's crazy.
See,
That's crazy.
But after Mike described the drums, I'm gonna give it a second listen.
look, I'm gonna tell you right now. I stopped skipping outros once Jodeci popped up on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. After that, I was like, you know what? I gotta stay a little bit longer sometimes.
Dude, Savage Garden on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Exactly.
That's
Oh my God.
crazy. When
Bro.
that blew my mind because I love Savage Garden.
Shout out to the animes that aren't afraid to like bring some Western music into their stuff. Man,
You know, I've never seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
That's wild.
We got to put that on the list.
Well, you haven't seen a lot of
we
stuff.
have to add it
I haven't
to the
seen a
list.
lot of stuff. I consider myself a noob when it comes to anime.
That's
I
okay.
mean, I think I've seen more than like your average adult, maybe. But in terms of like anime watching, I think I'm still pretty new. I think I'm still pretty green. There's still a lot of stuff that I haven't seen. A lot of like big stuff that I haven't seen. And it's primarily because I'm a hater, like a professional hater.
Name one.
And so-
I got to know what you're hating on. Well,
They're
what
like,
are
oh,
you
this is
hating on?
popular. Nah, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, and it's like and that's the biggest thing that I hate on is like mainstream shit. So if more than like 2 or 3 people like tell me to watch something or to listen to something, I'm like, nah, ain't worth it. You
Jeez.
already listened the fuck out of it. You already watched them.
You watched it for the both of us.
You
Yeah,
watched
you
it for the both of us.
I'm good. And then it always ends up being like what is it, like 5 years later, I'm like, man, you watched that show? And everyone's like, yeah, dude.
When it came out 5
When it
years
came
ago.
out like 5 years ago.
watching it
I'm like, well, I
actively.
just watched it and it was pretty tight. I finally get what everybody's talking about.
Now
I
that
can
no one's
respect
talking
it.
about it.
It's got to be my idea.
I can respect it. I think there's some animes that we've all loved to hate. You know?
Yeah, like I've never seen Bleach.
Bleach.
I've seen Bleach. I'm watching it currently. I'm watching the 1,000-Year Blood War.
Naruto.
I would love to do a Bleach. If we
I've seen
could.
Naruto. I started watching Boruto and then I stopped.
I couldn't watch Boruto. I actually started it
I watched
and then ended it.
I watched the first part of Naruto where they're kids, right? I didn't watch Shippuden. I didn't watch any of that.
That's the good part.
That's
I
like
know,
the
but like that
best
first
part.
part took so long to get there.
Oh, did
Yeah.
you? Okay, so now,
And that's
okay.
the difference between Naruto and One Piece. I'm gonna say it because One Piece is even longer, and you're
It
still
doesn't
in
feel
it.
that
You're
long. It
still in
really
it.
didn't feel that long.
But
Exactly.
I
And
think the thing
Naruto, you're
is,
like,
though,
man,
the
are we
thing
there
is,
yet?
though, with Naruto, and that's one thing that a lot of people, especially like if you don't watch anime and you're just not kind of like privy to it, the filler episodes. Bleach is infamous for filler episodes.
Bleach
Naruto
has
is
filler
definitely,
arcs.
I believe, is
Mhm.
in the top 10 for filler. So when you watch Naruto, if you don't go to like websites and actually find like the bracket of canon episodes to the anime, that way you're just filtering out a lot of needless episodes. Yeah, no, it becomes an arduous task to go through the entire thing because you're like, y'all guys were literally in the forest about to kill each other. Like, why are we panning back to Kohona Village and trying to figure out Kakashi's face? Like, bro, someone was about to get murked. Like, I need to know about that.
Yeah. Why are you telling
Crazy.
me another story in the middle of the story you're telling me?
But
Yeah.
that's
A
also
flashback and a flashback.
that's a testament to One Piece too on the same flip of the coin. Where Naruto has a lot of fillers. I will say, as even though I don't watch One Piece, they do not have fillers to save their life. I think they maybe you can count them on your hand. I could be wrong, but they barely have any fillers. So
It's
what you're
funny because
watching
they
is
had that
actual
one
content.
paste that came out that supposedly like got rid of the fillers, and it was still like 90% of the anime.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and part of it ends up being when I started learning about Oda, like as I was watching One Piece and like learning more about it, is that there's a lot of stuff that he like throws in there that he just like threw in there, and then maybe like a few like issues later, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, that was actually a thing. Like y'all thought that was like a throwaway thing, like that was actually a thing. So that actually wasn't a filler episode.
I
That's
can't.
actually crucial to like the plot
Yeah,
of
even
the
the filler
story moving
episodes have
forward."
those little things that
Yeah,
you need to see the filler episode in order to see. So
You
even the
know,
filler episodes are essential.
it's
yeah,
nice that we actually have
cool.
this little bit of freedom to talk about it. I wanted to ask y'all guys, outside of Gleipnir, what are y'all currently consuming as anime? Like what outside of what we are talking about, like what has actually caught your attention? I want to know.
I've been watching rewatching Dragon Ball Super
Nice.
in preparation. I know Daima's already out, and there's
Mm-hmm.
already like a few episodes out in English and Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
But I plan on like binging that once it's like completely out, full English dub. So in the meantime, I'm rewatching Dragon Ball Super
Nice.
just because it's been a while since I watched it.
For me, I know Diamond's out. I did watch the first episode, but I like Eric. I'm gonna wait till the English dub is out and probably complete because I'm gonna binge it. And currently, I'm caught up to the English dub on One Piece.
Nice.
I am watching Blue Lock as it comes out.
Nice.
I'm watching, of course, Gleipnir for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching Thousand Year Blood War right now, Bleach, and
And
I am also watching Dan to Dan.
nice. And real quick for those that may have never heard of Blue Lock, it is an anime about soccer, and it is so intense. Like we're talking like Captain Tsubasa level, like good
You
quality.
want to know why I like Blue Lock right now?
Why? What's up?
Because it's not a traditional soccer anime, team versus team
Oh yeah,
building. Everybody has their own thing. It's a tournament.
it is. It
It's an
is.
elimination thing. Like
It's the
they're all strikers. So there's not like defenders, goalies. No, they're all strikers, all competing against each other in a basically what is a tournament. So I'm like,
it.
oh, I'm in it. I'm not really a big soccer fan, but if you have a tournament, I'm in it.
Yep, I have
But
to
So it's
check
a
it
good
out.
little twist on the sport.
outside and outside of it being in a tournament format, like I mean, the character development is wild. It is so
Yeah,
so cool.
Blue Lock is really cool.
I know Dan to Dan, we have big plans for that one. Anybody who's watching anime, I'm sure they're all talking about it. That intro it's hard to get away from.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all over my
100%.
TikTok right now.
I'm
yeah.
telling you,
The intro
everywhere I
is
go.
super creepy nuts again.
I've seen the intro in 8-bit. I've seen someone painted Someone painted the intro. Someone did a Microsoft Paint version of the intro. Like, I've seen every variation.
I'm loving all the cosplays from Den to Den too.
Me too.
They were really cool.
For me, the animes that I've been watching, I went back in time, guys. I'm currently binging Initial D, which is a
Nice.
racing anime,
Never
because
seen it.
there is a new anime which is the sequel called MF Ghost. So not only did they conclude the old one, but they actually decided to bring a whole nother element to it. It's nothing like the original. It's kind of like in the future. So I totally binged the old one because I just want to streamline, just like you, Eric, like right into the new one when it's finished.
Nice. I love doing that. I love like rewatching like old seasons whenever like a new season comes out. Because I love that a lot of times there's like a momentum that kind of like builds into the next season or into the next episode or something like that. So, but what ends up happening is I end up rewatching a lot of stuff and not watching a whole lot of new stuff.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, okay, come on. Like, how many times have we all jumped back into Yu Yu Hakusho as like a comfort watch? Like, you can, as soon as that intro hits, dun, 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 where's your shame? The shame is out the window. Like, we're locked in. Like, we're good.
That you want to talk about intros? Yu Yu Hakusho has like the best intro.
I don't understand.
Of all
before,
time.
We'll say it again.
I cannot. They
So
need to
good.
do
And
like
it has a tournament.
scientists
The
need
best
to
has
do
a
a
tournament.
study on the intro for Yu Yu Hakusho and why
Great
it's
intro.
so like
Great outro.
captivating.
Great outro too.
tournament.
Yeah,
Outros,
characters.
every one of them hit.
Hilarious.
so
Oh my
good.
gosh.
So good.
Well, we're at an hour, and I've got some homework to do because I didn't watch as much as I thought I did. So that's on me, guys. I'm really sorry.
Crazy.
Because what happened is I fell asleep watching the show.
Wow.
And I woke up and
That-
I was on episode 6. So I assumed that I fell asleep during episode 6. But I guess I must have fallen asleep during episode 5. So that's on me. But I do watch anime at like 2 in the morning. So that's on me. You know, that has nothing to say about the show.
Mhm.
But we'll come back next week. Drop a like, comment if you like the episode. Tell us, have you seen this show before? If you have, did you like it? If not, are you interested in watching it? I got something in my eye, so I'm going to wrap this up. Love you guys. Have a good night. We'll see y'all next week. Oh, and follow us on TikTok.
Oh, yeah, we got TikTok
Yes.
now.
Yeah,
New
I'm going to drop
TikTok.
the ads and all of our social medias at the bottom.
Appreciate.
More content
guys.
coming soon.